K.A. Bullet's footballing channel.
Hurry up, tell me why I'm here.
Now with the end of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, I can now make this video, which is about my reactions to all 104 matches of this year's World Cup. And I'll be reacting to every match in order, starting with the group stage. And now here's the opening match where 3 red cards? Why were there 3 red cards in this match? Other than that, Mexico beating South Africa on home soil. Yep, that sounds about right. Now to this match. Sure, South Korea beat Czechia 2-1, but both sides, from what I remember, have disallowed goals. But South Korea ended up winning in the end with 2 goals in the second half. Aside from the fact that this match only finished 1-1 rather than 2-2, this game went pretty much exactly how I thought it would. What happened to Paraguay's defense? And this match made Americans believe that their team could win the World Cup. How did Qatar get a draw in this match? Switzerland deserved to not win this match. They could have had so many more chances. Morocco played really well this match, and Vini Jr. finally came good for Brazil this match. Scotland beat Haiti 1-0. I expected Scotland to win, but Haiti played way better than I thought they would. Australia did way better than both I and almost everyone else thought this match. What were Turkey doing? They had so many chances, but yet Australia wins 2-0. Seriously, Germany? This scoreline, out of all scorelines, why did you need to win 7-1 again? If you won 9-0 like I said in the prediction video, there would have been nowhere near as many memes. Japan has plot armor. That's why they were able to get a last-minute equalizer in this match. Ecuador was holding out for their favorite scoreline ever, 0-0. But conceded in stoppage time, so Cote d'Ivoire win this match 1-0. What was Sabri Lamouchi, the Tunisia manager, doing in this match? What were his team picks? No wonder his team lost 5-1. To Graham Potter, Sweden. And also, how did the 4th goal for Sweden count in this game? Just because the ball barely touched Isak's toe. How did Vozinha keep a clean sheet against Spain this match? Wow. That is one of the performances of the tournament. Even though Vozinha is a 40-year-old goalkeeper who has never really played for any good clubs, he deserves all of the fame that he got after this match. I barely watched this match, but I knew that Belgium wouldn't win. I thought this match would be a little more boring, but Uruguay should be disappointed with this result. This game was more entertaining than I would have expected, and New Zealand drag out their unbeaten run in the FIFA World Cup. France gets a routine win against Senegal, although I predicted this game to be a draw. And Iraq loses 4-1. I did correctly predict Ayman Hussein to score, but not against Norway, who I thought would score more goals in this match, but they didn't. Messi scores his very first World Cup hat-trick in this match. Somehow, I predicted it to be 3-0. I didn't predict the Messi hat-trick, though. Austria got a win that they should have gotten, although Jordan's attack did show, as Jordan did deny Austria a clean sheet here. How did Portugal fail to win this match? I really don't get it. But the Democratic Republic of the Congo should be proud of this result. I seriously predicted this match would end 0-0. How? This match was boring. Uzbekistan make their World Cup debut and lose 3-1 to Colombia. Pretty routine result for Colombia. I didn't watch this match. Next. How did so many goals come after the 75th minute? 6-0. Canada's first ever World Cup win is a 6-0 victory against 9-man Qatar. And from what I know, Canadian fans were begging for more. Mexico gets a pretty routine 1-0 win against South Korea in this match, and the US gets a routine 2-0 match, although one of those games was an own goal And I heard the other one shouldn't have counted. I somehow predicted that this match would only be a 1-0 win for Morocco. The reason I say only is because Morocco had so many chances this match. But they only won 1-0, as I had originally predicted. Why did Brazil let off the gas in the second half? This was Brazil's chance to show everyone how great the team was. But they only won 3-0. They were defending in the second half. Why? 62 shots, 0 goals. That's Turkey after the first 2 group stage matches. And Paraguay somehow won 1-0 with 10 men after Miguel Miron covered his mouth. How did Sweden undo all of the work that they put in the first match? Somehow losing 5-1 after winning 5-1. Although they did have plenty of chances in this match, this was a good game. And why were Germany not starting Dennis Undav, their best natural striker? How did Ecuador fail to score against Curacao? How? But what a great performance from Eloy Room. And I thought that Ecuador were deserving of elimination after this match. But they did get their favorite result, 0-0. Tunisia sacked Sabri Lamouchi and hired Hervé Renard. Great choice. Yet that didn't fix very much as they still lost to Japan by 4 goals. There's Spain's goal-scoring touch. And Belgium still failing to get any wins in a group that was supposed to be so easy for them. What was Fernando Muslera doing? He cost his team 2 points. I don't blame Cabo Verde for taking advantage and getting 2 goals this match. I thought New Zealand were going to continue their unbeaten run, and then I remembered that Egypt have never won a World Cup match until this match. After 9 games and 92 years, Egypt finally won their first ever FIFA World Cup match. Another routine win for Argentina, winning 2-0 this time. Messi brought his goal tally up to 5 in this World Cup after this match. There was a thunderstorm which interrupted this match. Probably due to that thunderstorm, France wasn't able to win by more than 3 goals here. Although, I do feel bad for everyone that went to the match. They wanted to watch a game, but then a thunderstorm interrupted it, risking everyone's safety in the process. This was a good game, but it was obvious from start to finish that Norway were the better team here. This was about what I expected as well, with Jordan scoring again. Portugal woke up after failing to beat DR Congo, and then goes on to beat Uzbekistan 5-0, with Ronaldo scoring twice. Apparently, he's back. England had to get a 0-0 result somewhere this World Cup. And somehow, Croatia only beat Panama 1-0. Colombia also only beat DR Congo 1-0. Although, DR Congo has a very good defense, so that was much more understandable. Weirdly, Canada's knockout round matches won't be in Canada. Both teams badly needed a win here, and Bosnia and Herzegovina were the ones that got it. Another case of Haiti playing much better than I initially thought they would. What were Scotland's defenders doing this match? What were they doing? Basically giving away 2 goals to Brazil. They were fighting for a knockout round spot, yet they go ahead and concede 3 goals, which would probably doom them to elimination. I did not expect South Africa to win this match, considering how terrible their recent form had been. Another routine win for Mexico, and they've conceded 0 goals in the group stage. Another routine win for Cote d'Ivoire, although I thought they would win by more goals. How did Ecuador beat Germany? Not only that, how did they score 2 goals, neither of which were scored by Enner Valencia? I didn't see this game, but Since Tunisia lost by less, Hervé Renard's tactics must be doing something now. How did I know that this game would end 1-1? The moment that the pressure is off Turkey, they actually perform. Boring! Why did Norway play their B team in this match? Senegal needed this big win to ensure that they would get out of the group of death. After all, they picked up no points against France and Norway. Why couldn't Cabo Verde win this match? The entire world wanted them to win here. Once again, Fernando Muslera screws up with Uruguay. Fernando Muslera should never play for Uruguay ever again. Oh, Belgium finally woke up this match to win the group. I didn't watch this game, but this result ensures that both teams remain undefeated. I know I have a problem with Tuchel's squad selection, but this team could still beat Panama by more than 2 goals. How did England only win 2-0 this match? This was a must-win for Croatia, and they got the win. This was a must-win for Portugal, and they didn't win, dooming them to second in the group. I didn't watch this game. I was too busy watching the Colombia versus Portugal match. This was a great game. The drama, and I thought that this game was game of the tournament at the time. There was no collusion here. It seemed like there was, but Algeria was trying to win the game more towards the end. And for the final group stage match, Argentina gets another routine victory, and Jordan scores again. That means that they scored in every single one of their group stage matches in their debut World Cup. Before I begin the knockout round matches, these are the third place teams, and they are organized by how many points they got and their goal difference. The 4 teams that didn't make it, they to a degree disappointed, especially Uruguay. Now, finally, on to the knockout round, starting with the round of 32. This match was massive for Canada. First ever knockout match, and they win. Although, it was also South Africa's first knockout match, and they lose. And don't forget, there were boos every time South Africa's players passed it back to the goalie. Now on to Brazil versus Japan. I wasn't able to watch this game, but from what I heard, and from the highlights I watched, this was a good game. And congratulations to Paraguay for winning this game in a massive upset, although I do feel really bad for Jonathan Tah. First, his headed goal gets disallowed, and then he misses his penalty. How did Verbruggen drop the ball and kick it into his own net during the penalty shootout? And then later, Bonu literally saved a shot with his left hand. How unlikely were those 2 penalties to go in? How? I didn't watch this game, but Norway did get a comeback win with Erling Haaland scoring a goal. So whoever won this match has to play against Brazil. How did I predict France to beat Sweden? Exactly 3-0. That was actually in the script for the last video, but I didn't end up including that fact because of the different app that I used. How did Ecuador concede 2 goals? Yep, elimination deserved. Once again, also confirming that Mexico can only win knockout matches in Mexico. DR Congo gave England a real scare this match. Although Harry Kane saved them in the end. Belgium were 2-0 down with 80 minutes played, and they needed a 125th minute penalty from Romelu Lukaku to make it past Senegal. Although I did predict them to win against whoever their round of 32 opponent was in both of my predictions. I didn't even think Folarin Balogun's red card was even deserved at first. But then I realized how bad the injury was. Red card, fully deserved. Weirdly, this is the first time that Spain won a knockout round match since they won the World Cup. Shoo! Ronaldo finally scored a knockout goal in the World Cup. And I didn't even realize until after the game Croatia had a disallowed goal because one of the players' hair. So, if he was bald, would the ball going into the net that time have counted towards a potential equalizing goal? I saw this win coming, but also, this is also Switzerland's first knockout win in ages. I really thought that Australia would play better than this. Wow, this game is one of the games of the tournament, with Cabo Verde being able to keep up with Argentina all match, pushing this game to extra time where their second goal is one of the contenders for goal of the tournament. And then Cabo Verde finally lose off of a known goal. Even though they only played 4 games and did not win a single one, they didn't lose a single game in 90 minutes. Although the World Cup run only lasted 4 games, Cabo Verde should be proud of this World Cup run. I didn't see very much of this game, but this game is roughly what I expected it to be, with Colombia winning and advancing to the round of 16. Now I'm going to talk about those matches. Morocco, you did not need to do that to Canada after 80 minutes. Paraguay stopped France from scoring a single goal from open play this match. Now that is peak Paraguay. Although after this match, I do feel bad for Mbappe. Although he did score that penalty, one of Paraguay's senators said some very mean things about him. How did this happen? Brazil get knocked out of the World Cup by a European country again. Although, Norway does continue their streak of not losing to Brazil. That's the 5th time that these two teams have played, and Brazil have won none of those 5 games. I predicted Mexico to win this match, but both teams did play pretty well this match. This is what Portugal gets for finishing second in the group. A round of 16 tie against Spain, where Mikel Merino, the super sub, comes off the bench to score the winner in stoppage time. Cristiano Ronaldo, you will be 45 years old by the time the next World Cup starts. This is your last World Cup match, and it ended in heartbreaking defeat. Why was Fuller and Balogun allowed to play in this match? Why did FIFA give in and interfere with this red card decision? Well-deserved loss for the US. Another game where an African team takes the game to Argentina, going 2-0 up until near the end of the game. Egypt played really well this match, but Argentina saved their World Cup hopes in the dying minutes of the match once again. And I've also heard the refereeing was terrible this match, and very biased towards Argentina. Another game in the round of 16 of a World Cup where the year ends in a 6. Switzerland plays against a country that plays in a yellow kit, and the game ends 0-0 after 120 minutes. The difference this time is Switzerland won the penalty shootout this time. Now on to the quarterfinals, where there aren't that many matches anymore. And here's the only one that I initially predicted correctly, where I predicted this match and for France to win it. Fair enough. I did not expect Belgium to get this far, but I did expect Spain to make it to the semifinals. Norway should have won this game. Firstly, when Northern Ireland kicked the ball into the table, why was that not a drop ball? This then allowed for England's first goal. And also, why did Alexander Sorloth be selfish and not pass the ball to Haaland? And why was Hegem's goal disallowed? Haaland pushing Elliot Anderson had nothing to do with that goal. In the end, Jude Bellingham saved England again, and England are back in the semifinals. Once again, I expected FIFA's princess to prevail in this match, but Switzerland did better than I thought, taking Argentina to extra time. Now on to the semifinals. I have quite a lot to say here. I wasn't able to watch this game, but from what I heard from my friends and from many other people, France played like garbage this game. They were my pre-tournament favorites. If you watched the previous 2 prediction videos, you would know that. But They played terribly, losing 3 different knockout round games to Spain. The last European Championships, the last Nations League, and now this World Cup. How have you not figured out how to beat Spain yet? But France played terribly this match. So Spain 100% deserves this win. What I heard as well, Spain were chasing a 3rd goal in this match. Spain beating one of the other favorites for the World Cup, potentially 3-0. Wow. Why did Tuchel park the bus? Why would you park the bus when you're 1-0 up against an Argentina team who always makes a comeback? Then when he finally realized his mistake, Argentina was able to score 2. And now, for the 3rd place playoff, this is game of the tournament. Usually, 3rd place playoffs don't seem to really matter. But this game was game of the tournament. After the first half, it seemed like France was going to lose 4-0. But France was able to make a little bit of a comeback. And then both teams played really well at the end. Wow, game of the tournament. And now, on to the final, where one team will be crowned champions of the world. But we wouldn't know until extra time, as the game ended 0-0 after 90 minutes. And then Enzo Fernandez gets a red card. Argentina had been playing really dirty this match. And also, Spain had all of the chances until the 118th minute, where Argentina finally tried doing the Argentina thing of having a comeback. And this game could have been like 5-0 Spain if it weren't for Emi Martinez's heroics in net. And after the game, the behavior from the Argentine players and fans, as well as the coaching staff, is an absolute disgrace. Spain 100% deserved to win this year's World Cup. Those are my reactions to all 104 matches of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And now, Spain are champions of the world in both the men's and women's World Cup. What did you think of this year's World Cup? Was it better or worse than previous World Cups? Let me know in the comments down below.
Press the like button down below if you like this video, and subscribe to this channel if you want to watch more videos like this one.
Now that the World Cup's over, my next video will probably be about the club season that's coming up. Because, there's no international matches until September. The next video on this channel will be coming out soon enough. Unfortunately, the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine is still going on. The Ukrainian people just want to live in peace and have freedom. But this common dream was ruined by the tyrant and bully, Vladimir Putin, who has not only brought ruin to Ukraine, but has also made the lives of Russians significantly worse. I here on the KA Bullets footballing channel stand with Ukraine in their struggle against Vladimir Putin's tyranny and recognize Ukraine's true borders as shown by this map, which includes Crimea, the Donbass, and all of the Kharkiv, Zaporizhia, and Kherson oblasts. Since I stand with Ukraine, I made the choice to buy this kit that I'm wearing in this next clip.
Слава Україні! Героям слава! Нехай швидше дарується Україні перемога! Glory to Ukraine! Glory to the heroes! May Ukraine be granted victory very soon.
Even more unfortunately, that is not the only international war going on right now, whose effects are felt all over the world, and another war where an authoritarian leader is trying to keep his people down, and that is why I support